All right. Well, I think we should kick off. We're super busy with the launch to Mainnet, and we're super excited to give you guys an update on a very exciting topic on the roadmap to Mainnet, which is the Mainnet Airdrop. So we're doing this, and because we're doing this, you can really tell we're getting close now. So I'm here with co-founder Peter Vicinis from the Open Metaverse Foundation, as well as LAMINA1 CTO Will Carter, and we are here to share with you all a quick update on first, where we're at for launch, two, our plan for rolling out our official airdrop, and also kind of like what to expect when rewards start to hit your mainnet wallets in just a couple of weeks. We also have a very kind of special announcement and a surprise for some of our newer community members joining us. But I'll let the kind of like deck and presentation take care of that. Will,
Wait,
Peter,
do I know what the surprise is?
you know what the surprise is.
Okay,
You
all right, okay. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Okay,
surprised yesterday. Peter is in charge of the name of the new initiative we'll be kicking off today, just so everyone knows.
I'm not ashamed. I'll take responsibility.
All right. Well, I guess without further ado, let's roll in. I think the first thing that we really wanted to share with you all before we dive into logistics about the airdrop is just kind of like some dates to know as we move toward mainnet launch. So here we are, May 10th, doing a big mainnet airdrop update, and also the official launch and announcement of HUBMANIA. Um, We'll talk a little bit more about HUBMANIA a little bit later, but this is basically going to be a bonus round of questing and incentivization for all Lamina1 community members in this really crucial launch period for us. And it's basically designed to help spread the word about Lamina1 and also give an opportunity for some of our newer community members to kind of get in on rewards. So again, more on that soon. Super exciting. Um,
So is that so since I named Hubmania, I want to make a rule that you have to say Hubmania what when you say it. What do you think?
Okay, so
No?
HUBMANIA, whoop, as in
Oh
like,
yeah, you'll do it. All right. Yes, thank you, Ivy.
I'll do it.
That is
Yeah,
great.
I've been using the fire emoji a lot, like in the upcoming sort of launch materials around HUBMANIA. So I like that it's kind of like a siren.
Tune
Anyway.
says no, but in this I'm overriding the veto tune. Woo! Okay, sorry, carry on. I'll stop interrupting.
All right, so we've also been getting a lot of questions about when TGE. We're excited to announce that that's happening on next week on 5/16. We're turning the chain on, and we're going to be doing early onboarding for the Lamina1 team, our partners. We've got about 50 featured artists who are going to be pre-onboarding, as well as our current top testers group. So get ready. Pre-onboarding starts next week. As for the public launch, that is currently targeted for 5/28. So we'll have a couple of days with a pre-launch for some of our early community members and adopters. And then basically everyone is going to get access to a new hub connected to mainnet right before we are at consensus. So that's going to be when everyone's going to need to create a new mainnet hub account. And also, that's when you're all going to be able to start claiming your airdrops. Now, this is super important. The airdrop claim window is going to be small this time around. It's going to be 2 weeks from 5/28 through 6/15. So if you participated in BetaNet, if you did any quests, if you engaged in Discord, or if you had a hub wallet during BetaNet, make sure you come on, create your account, and claim your rewards in this window. Some other exciting things that we don't quite yet have dates for, but we'll be announcing in quick succession after this crazy launch period is the L1 token listing, um, the drop of HUBMANIA rewards, which again we'll talk a little bit more about later, as well as the kickoff of a referral program. So basically, invite your friends to Lamina1, get tokens, as well as finally the anticipated launch of the Lamina1 brand ambassador program so that, we can really start spreading the word, growing this community, and getting this economy going. All right, so now let's talk next about, actually, no. before we dive into Airdrop ADB, Peter, do you want to say anything more about the sort of like staged rollout and dates we need to know as we're kind of rocketing towards mainnet?
Yes, absolutely. Um, I'm so pumped, you guys. This is so fun. We've been at it 2 years. And like I was saying on our last call, we're just starting. So for uh, so think of it this way. We're launching. We're all launching together. That's amazing. So here's the things like just so you guys understand how we're sequencing. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff to get out to chain totally live and Ivy's got it here. First thing is just literally launching the chain, making sure it's up. We've been through a bunch of beta tests. We're not worried about how that's going to go. But if you imagine launching that and then there's no content on the hub, that's like a bad experience. It's a bad experience for new people. It's just not that fun and exciting. So we've got this kind of initial period where we're working with creators um, to get some stuff up on the hub. So we'll have it, and then we're going to open up more broadly to everyone, our whole community, where you guys can go ahead and do some of your stuff that you might want to do, like registering your identities, all the kinds of like basic stuff on the hub to help it fill out. At some point after that, when we're comfortable, we're going to turn on teleporting to AVAX. And at some point after we're happy with teleporting, we'll be turning on some centralized exchange trading. So we've kind of got this sequence of events, and there's a bunch of moving pieces in terms of schedule. Like we're going to be the first AVAX partner to use their teleporter in production. That's still going through final security audits. There's like the punch list that Gordon at Translaminal has for launch is like 100 rows. It's totally overwhelming. So we're kind of tipping through all of those, and we also want to make sure we've got a good experience for our whole community, and we want to get you guys in and helping make it and build it out and so on. So we're going to keep doing the staging stuff. We might know some dates we don't tell you because I think it's fun to surprise people now and then, but we're going to generally give you guys as much warning as we can for this stuff. And these dates are hard commit dates right now. So is that what you were thinking of, Ivy?
That was perfect. All right, so
Okay,
let's
thank you.
dive into a couple more details about this upcoming airdrop, which we have sort of dubbed ADB or Airdrop Beta. So this is the airdrop that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. It's where all BetaNet participants are eligible. There's going to be a 32.5 million LL1 token pool that is going to be distributed. And those rewards are going to be based on kind of two buckets of rewards pools. One is based on community rewards, which is, your Zeely XP, your Discord engagement, the number of badges you've collected, your join date, your message frequency on some of our priority channels, et cetera, et cetera. Then this time around, we also are adding in on-chain rewards, which is based on basically activity on the LAMINA1 BetaNet. Think number of transactions, items published, smart contracts deployed, the number of people who engaged with those smart contracts, that kind of stuff. The cutoff dates for that engagement for Airdrop ADB was community activity 426, and then the on-chain cutoff was 418 because Peter accidentally leaked some info into the community.
Accidentally, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I actually,
um,
I want to talk a little bit about this when you're done on this slide, Ivy, just to give people some understanding how we thought about it.
Yeah, totally. I think one thing that I want to call out is like we're going to release more info about the weighting and logistics of the drop after it happens, but like this is generally like what we're going to sketch out for you guys now. And also just as a reminder, it's going to be in LL1 tokens, which are, they're rewards tokens and they basically unlock over time. So the current rate, unless it's changed, Peter, is 3% per quarter or 0.03% per day. So Peter,
In the first
go.
quarter.
Yeah. Talk deeper
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, yeah. So like when we announced, so those of you who are around very, very early days for testnet, you remember we did the BetaNet airdrop based on just questing, essentially. And we told you, and I tried to tell you and give you guys hints that we were going to look at economic activity and other kinds of activity in BetaNet. And so what we ended up doing is we basically, we know you guys like questing. We appreciate it. It's very, very helpful for us to have the community sort of doing some collective action on stuff. Thank you. We're going to keep doing that. we also have some people who aren't big questers. And at the end of the day, there's a lot that has to happen for the chain to grow. And so what we did is laid out a set of rules pretty early on that we were going to keep track of on chain. And so like rewards are going to come equally from both of those. So those of you who like spent a lot, those of you who wrote contracts that got a lot of transactions or got a lot of money in them, all of those things are like key parts of building the chain out going forward. And so you guys will see like there'll be a lot of the same people who got a lot of tokens in the initial airdrop will get a lot of tokens. We might see some new addresses there. We might even see some addresses that we don't have Discord handles for. Like I noticed Persona Collective had a blood token on the side, and we had kind of economic participants, people who didn't really engage socially but did a lot of economic transactions, and we'll see some of those in the ADB drop as well. So I think that'll be fun, and we're really excited to get those numbers out to you guys. And as Ivy said, the main thing is claim on 5/28, claim on May 28th. Did I mention you should claim on May 28th? And don't miss it. You only have 2 weeks, but claiming on May 28th will be the best idea for you. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. That's that. And we have a cutoff because like we don't want people gaming the system, and so we made these. I mean, we want you gaming it while you don't know what it is, but as soon as people know what it is, then we need to stop it. So I'm truly sorry about April 18th. Sorry.
All right, so let's move on in terms of like an answer
Oh,
some
I want to
questions.
say, sorry, I want to say one more thing about that. Ed just mentioned it here.
Yeah.
Yes. Ed asks, will drops go directly to blockchain exchanges? Yes. This is kind of, and we'll talk again about it a little bit, but we are wanting to re-engage everyone around the hub, hence HUBMANIA. Woo! But
Yep.
in general, um, like there are a lot of little things we'll be doing as we transition. Discord's going to stick around. We love it. It's great. But as the community grows and gets bigger, Discord is more limited. Like we're building out. Yes, thank you, Ravine. Yes, yes, HUBMANIA. Woo! So um, and one of the many ways this will come out is particularly just like you asked on addresses. A thing to say about this is you're you might end up like if you had multiple betanet addresses, each of them might have a drop, and so you should hold on to those betanet wallets. You should export the keys, and you should be like thinking about re-importing them into the hub so that you'll have the access to wherever your betanet tokens are. And we're not so we are not like going to aggregate up between different identities or wallets or whatever. Like you had 10 wallets on betanet that all got an airdrop, you're gonna have 10 mainnet airdrop wallets that you've got to go claim. So just prep for that now, and that's something you could be doing. Again, the people that I'm talking to right now, if you're like, does this apply to me? Don't worry, it does not apply to you. But those of you who can hear me and are like, oh, that's me, prepare for that. So there's not going to be any kind of syncing them up. It's all going to be different ones.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that's kind
Ed
of,
is complaining. Ed is complaining he's going to get 5 airdrops. I'm sorry, Ed. That's hard.
well, you know,
Okay,
if you
go
make
ahead.
the account, you're making more work for yourself. That's there you go.
That's a real
Actually,
one percenter problem. I did so much. I did so much on the chain. I have too many airdrops.
Um, yeah, so basically, I mean, that's kind of the topic of this next slide, which is just like, how is the claiming process going to work? So I am really stoked about this new claiming process because basically you're going to be unwrapping and withdrawing your rewards directly in the hub. So there will still be a Discord bot you have to engage with to link your L1 community identity to your on-chain identity, but you'll only have to do it once rather than having to come back to a channel to kick the bot and pull out your tokens every few days. So for anyone who is involved with the BetaNet airdrop and how annoying that bot was sometimes when it got heavy traffic, we've got a way around it that's going to be much nicer for us all. So, you know, as a community manager, I'm very excited about this new flow. But basically, the way it's going to work is there's going to be a new airdrop tab on the LAMINA1 hub. There's going to be this new bot launching on May 28th, 2024, which again, Peter is like, yo, like make your account that day if you can. And we'll have our two kind of like classic channels, airdrop claim, which will be the channel where you can kind of input your bot commands, and then an airdrop instructions channel that basically is read only that you can come back to anytime to kind of like get a recap on what you're doing. The flow is basically you're going to sign into Mainnet with the same login method you use for BetaNet. This is important. That's how it'll basically be able to tell whether or not you have on-chain rewards. Create an account, username, and profile. Go to the new Airdrop tab on the LAMINA1 Hub. It'll first connect your hub, check your Hub account for on-chain rewards. Then you'll basically link your Discord account for community rewards. You'll review the rewards and complete your claim, and then basically unwrap your rewards in this new wallet tab that we're going to have as they unlock. Again, claim by 6:15 for 100% of your rewards. Don't miss the boat. And I wanted to give you guys a little preview on like what it's kind of going to look like when you're claiming on the hub. So this is from one of the prototypes and stuff that we're putting the final touches on right now. But basically, claim your airdrop. It'll check
Can
your
you
hub
zoom that
account.
in more, Ivy? I'm old. Can you zoom it in
Yeah, of
even more?
course. Sorry, I always
Thank
get
you.
yelled at
Thank
because I
you.
look at text really small.
You're young, so your eyes are still good. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
So yeah, it'll basically, you'll click the airdrop tab, it'll bring up this really nice flow, ask you, here, did you participate in BetaNet? You can drop down for more information. If you're eligible, you'll get a screen that looks like this that tells you your on-chain rewards. If you're not eligible, you'll get a sorry, we can't track anything. I think, again, if you're getting this message, make sure, again, that you're signing with the same social, email, Discord, or MetaMask account that you used to sign into BetaNet. And yeah, hopefully you don't get this, but if you do, that's what's going on. From there, we're going to have you link your Discord to check for community rewards. So we've tried to make it easy. You copy your hub address, and then you click this button, and that'll take you to a Discord bot where you can type in kind of 3 commands, right? One, see if your Discord account is eligible for community rewards. Then you're going to type in this command called airdrop start claim, where you're going to input this new mainnet address that you just copied, link your accounts, and then you'll receive 0.1 L1 token as a test transaction to your hub. So the idea with that is send that test transaction, make sure you get it into your account and that you have inputted the correct account address. And if that's the case, then you'll be able to kind of like move forward. You can change this address linked to your account a maximum of 10 times. And basically every time you do, it'll send each of those accounts like a .L1 test transaction. The idea with that is at the end of the process, if you only like linked one account, you'll get 0.9 back. If you link 2 accounts, you'll get 0.8 back. But basically, everyone gets 1 L1 to pay for gas and unwrapping of these tokens, maximum of 10 calls. I don't think I need to explain why we have to do that, but obviously you could spam the heck out of this bot if we didn't put that limit there. But it's also a little forgiving,
One,
so if you make a mistake with your hub address or put the wrong thing in, you've got a couple of chances to fix it.
I think it's possible we may end up committing to more than 1 L1, so we'll see.
Cool.
1
Well,
L1 is a minimum.
yeah, you guys heard it
I'll
here
take
first.
a
That was the 1L1 that was promised in the latest draft of the governance white paper. But
You've read that?
I've read everything, Peter. Are you kidding me?
I really
Um,
appreciate you reading that.
yeah, and then basically, you'll review your rewards, complete your claim. You'll see everything from on-chain to community. If for some reason something looks off, we're also going to be hosting a review process where you can basically file an appeal form. We can check out what's happening. But yeah, that's kind of going to be the new flow. We're super excited about it. It should make claiming the airdrop a heck of a lot easier. Yeah, but speaking of the surprise, moving on past, why is this not working? Oh, it's because I zoomed in. Oh no, now we're like out in outer space. There we go. All
There we go.
right.
Yay. Woo,
So,
woo.
HUBMANIA, woo! So you might be asking,
Oh,
what
sorry,
about
sorry.
one members, people who weren't totally whaled during the BetaNet test drops? Have no fears, everyone. We've got a plan for that, and we're excited to announce the kickoff of HUBMANIA, that bonus round that I mentioned at the top of the presentation. So, Peter, I know you're really excited about this, and you are the progenitor of the HUBMANIA name. So, do you want to go into a little bit more detail about what we have planned?
Okay, guys, thank you for the last 2 years. It has been amazing. We're so psyched to get started. And we have new community members like Fake Andry who feels that they are late. Fake Andry, you're not late. You are just on time for the HUBMANIA airdrop. It's insanity. So the idea here is like we're doing our ADB, we've got the token numbers, that's all great, but there's more. We're gonna do more for everyone, and we're gonna do more all together. Ed's name is misspelled. Oh, sorry. So sorry. So the plan here is like we're doing a reset. You guys should expect the Discord community, Telegram community, Twitter community to be growing pretty rapidly over the next month. Be a lot of new people. We want those of you who are thinking about resting on your laurels right now, sitting back, whaling it up, throwing tokens around just to show what a big person on campus you are. Sorry, it's over. That's done. You are kings of ADB. You won it. But for HUBMANIA, who knows who will be in charge? So we have totally new quests, totally new stuff going on, and I'm really excited about it. So the concept here is a reset in which those of you who work hardest kind of participate hardest on all the things that we want to do in this sort of mainnet period are going to get an additional drop. Was that a good summary?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
I've got a copy of the full Zeely leaderboard from beta period, but if you need to take your screenshots of your high ranking on the leaderboard, do it today because we're gonna reset it. And yeah, these daily hype and growth quests are gonna launch on Monday. So yeah, we're gonna
Woo!
be doing. We've got again, I mentioned before that like in addition to the quests, we're also going to be launching a referral program around launch. As well as some cool contests and other activations. But yeah, this is a way that, again, we can kind of really help some of our new community members and also just folks who are really engaged. Maybe you just came back now from Mainnet after kind of stepping out of the community for a little while. This is your chance to kind of join us all and kind of start a new era together. So yeah, we're really excited about it. I have a whole spreadsheet of quests that I've been feverishly making. And yeah,
I feel afraid. I feel afraid.
they're gonna be fun. They're definitely gonna be a little bit more like
Okay.
referral-y than our previous quests. It's gonna be less like provide us feedback and more just like share this with everyone. But again, the idea is we really want to get the word out about this and we want to start really getting a bunch of creators and people transacting and activity around the launch.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've got a community question round. I've been watching the chat and I also have some that I've just kind of collected across the community over the last week. Sod and a couple of other folks are just kind of asking like, wait, so like who is eligible for the airdrop? Like, can you go over eligibility again?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you want to answer?
I can or will can. I don't know. Since he did his mic check, we can. Do you want to just do technical questions, Will, and I'll
Yeah,
handle other random stuff?
and,
What's your pleasure?
uh, Will's probably coding right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
guilty.
busy.
No. What was the
It's
question
like
was who's
I'm
technically
no. It's okay. You keep making zero knowledge proofs. I'll answer the question. So the
I'll pay
question is just
attention.
like okay, now I forgot it. No, it's so yeah, hit it again, Ivy. I think I
Yeah,
remember it,
who's
but I want to answer it
eligible? Like
perfectly.
who's gonna get
Who's
in charge?
eligible? Okay, anyone who quested is eligible. Yeah, actually, anyone. I think even if you signed up on the Discord, you're gonna have some drop.
If you
So
have,
literally, all
yeah,
you
yeah, if you have a Discord and you sent like a message in the general channel, you should technically like
yeah,
have something.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then the way we curve. So the answer is like if you're here, you will definitely get something in the airdrop. Like I believe so. Um, and then also anyone who participated on BetaNet, the addresses that participated on BetaNet. So those are the two groups. Um,
If you were here
and you guys should
prior
know.
to our cutoff date,
Go ahead.
just to clarify.
Yeah, by the cutoff
Thank you,
date.
Will. Thank
For
you.
the 26th.
Prior to the cutoff
So
date.
basically, yeah, if you joined anytime between April 26th and now, you'll have to just double down on HUBMANIA, basically. All right, next up,
Um,
Alex, asks, how many eligible wallets are we talking about this like 32.5 million tokens getting split across?
Yeah, I mean, we'll you guys will see the final numbers when they come out. And again, we should be cautious to say it's not identities because, like, for instance, I had a bunch of BetaNet addresses because I was like publishing code, and so there are a number of people like that out there too. So I think the rough numbers in the original for some guidance on BetaNet, I think we had maybe 50, do we have 50,000 we dropped to and 20 or 30,000 claimed? Does that sound right, Ivy?
It was
Uh,
43 and then we had 60% claim. So
yeah. So a lot of unclaimed tokens. Those of you who weren't around for it or maybe just, been hanging out, we curved those. So it's not linear. So you won't divide. And um, we purposely sort of like made sure that like doing a good amount of extra work would yield a really large amount of extra tokens. And so I think you should expect to see pretty similar sort of like drop distribution in the ADB drop. And we'll talk more about how HUBMANIA is going to work later.
great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
someone
Yeah.
asks, can you still be eligible for the airdrop even if you don't have rewards? Or I mean, even if you don't have roles, yes, you can still be eligible for the airdrop if you don't have any roles. If you never quested, airdrop is coming to you. And someone
Yeah.
also said, I don't quest, but I have activity on the hub. Does that mean I'm eligible? Yes. Okay. Next question that I want to clarify, I feel like we clarify it over and over again, but Crypto Noob asks, I have claimed about 550 tokens from the BetaNet airdrop. Will BetaNet tokens be of any value?
No, but claiming them was good because it showed you were participating on the BetaNet chain. And like we said, that's what we wanted, was for people to do work and build the economic side of the chain out during BetaNet. So hopefully you spent them. That'll be even better if you did something with them. But just claiming them is a good start.
Yeah. Muna asks, what happened to all the unclaimed tokens during the BetaNet airdrop? Are you going to be like, what did we do with them, and what's the plan for the unclaimed tokens for the mainnet one?
Yeah. So and we knew going into this, both Will and I have just been doing this for a really long time. And so there's a classic problem, unclaimed tokens. Like the DAO was the very first DAO in I think 2016, which the hack of the DAO led to the fork of Ethereum into Ethereum Classic. There are still like hundreds of millions of dollars of unclaimed DAO refunds on Ethereum. So this kind of like people forget, they lose their keys, they do whatever. It's like such a big problem. So in BetaNet, we reclaim them, and the rule is like do something fun with them. So conceptually, like they'll be used for other like incentives. They may find their way to HUBMANIA, but the idea here is that like if people, and that's one reason we've tightened the timeline here, like it's for people who are engaged, who've been with us, who are paying attention, come along, let's all do this. And then to the extent that someone doesn't want them or didn't claim them, we'll do something else that's useful for the community with them is the plan.
Awesome. Septine asks, did you have to make a lot of transactions on the hub to get more airdrop opportunities?
I don't have a good answer for that. That's kind of a will question. But again, it's really it's a scoring and scale question, just to say, and it's additive. One decision we made, and I think that shows right in the UI. Like we talked about, do we want it to be multiplicative, like all your score from your BetaNet times your score from daily questing, but we ultimately decided we'd add it. So like, whatever your questing generated is one thing, and then on the other side is the other. So yeah, I don't know if I think we'll probably realistically just publish the numbers and then people can answer that question for themselves. I think it's hard to answer it specifically.
Mm-hmm. Have a couple of users asking about, so like, what about staking wallet activity from nodes or delegation? Will, if you're there, I'd love for you to take this one because we've talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah, we don't have a really clean way to get that data and attribute it to either your C-chain address or your Discord ID. So it was really like we started to build like an indexer that started tracking cross-chain transactions, but like the two chains are very different transaction types, and there is no clean way to attribute like a score for your staking activity on the P chain, either validating or delegating back to your C chain address or your identity. So currently those are not included in the calculations. If we can think of a way to do it really quickly, then we'll try. But yeah, currently we don't see a clean way to do it.
Yeah, I do have a list of like everyone who completed our like delegation quests. So we do have like proof of that, but
That's scored in already. Yeah, that part's scored in.
yeah, that's already kind of
Uh,
scored in already. But I feel like that's good. We've had a number of people who have had some buggy issues with the staking wallet, which is we're very excited to be getting rid of the staking wallet with Mainnet. And so if you encountered any bugs in that wallet and were worried about it, you don't have to worry about it as much. We got you. Monet 6196 and a couple of other people. There's been a bit of griping about the 32.5 million number. Monet 6196 particularly asks, will we get a good airdrop with 32.5 million in a 10-year lock? I don't think we're getting anything good at all at launch. Peter.
Aw, I'm so sad. um, Look, we'll see how this goes. Like we've got, I think the main thing to say is like, better or worse, I'm gonna talk straight with you guys.
Yeah.
We're just starting. We're just starting. So it would not be sensible as a community to pay a bunch of people out and be like, thanks, see you later, go ahead and sell. Like it's just not smart. It's not something we're gonna do. So we're building an open commons, an open economic commons for the open metaverse. It's gonna take time. We have a lot we are going to need people to do, and we've got a lot of things we're going to want people to do over the next 5 years that will build that. So, like, we take the long range view, and like I think I've had variants of this complaint from a couple investors who are making the same thing. They're like, I invested 2 years ago. I'd like more money now. It's like, well, you signed contracts, you did your thing. We're all doing what we said we would do. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of those are like, could I please get out before everybody else? Could I please front run whoever, the rest of the community, the founders, the investors? And we've just decided like we're not doing it that way. So to my mind, like again, it's really hard to predict. I think if past behavior is any indication, this 3.5% is not that's not a fair, or 3.25% is not a fair number because it's really 500 million issued at launch and then another 500 million in reward. So it's double that at 6 and something. But I think looking at like past behavior, I would expect that the community airdrop is like going to be 30 to 50% of like actual actively used tokens in Q1. So like we'll see. We could be wrong. There are more tokens to use and deploy towards like building these commons out. I think you guys know from the BetaNet airdrop, like we're pretty committed to boosting anybody who's building this chain out. Like that's just super important to us. But I think like a lot of projects, are like maybe just kind of there to, I don't know. I'm just not sure that like dumping extra tokens will just flood the market as a good management plan. So we're not doing it. Sorry. And we appreciate you. Even if you're salty on the number, I'd say please stick around. Maybe you'll be happy at the end of the day. And we definitely want you guys here.
Awesome. D111 asks, will the new airdrop bot have fewer bugs?
Oof.
I know that one hurts, but it's a fair question. So, Will, do you want to tell us a little bit about the new airdrop bot you've been developing?
We have brand new bugs for you all to experience and enjoy.
Yes. HUBMANIA. Woo.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
Do not feel like you're going to be experiencing the same old bugs. But no, I think a lot of things are changing in the new airdrop. And apologies if you can hear the sirens going off in the background.
So appropriate.
Yeah, That's actually the bug alarm I have set. But no, there's the structure has changed pretty dramatically. We've done a few improvements to the hub, or sorry, the Discord bot itself, which should improve things. A lot of the claiming process itself is going to be integrated into the hub, as you saw earlier, so that'll improve some things. So I think in general, it's going to be a smoother, better experience. But I guess we'll see, right?
I will definitely be fielding if there's anything wrong. You guys know I'm watching and hitting up our engineering support channel. So got another
It's a low
question.
stress engineering job. It's easy. No trouble.
Have another question. So like you talk about like, okay, May 28th, definitely sign on, claim your airdrop, create an account. So someone asks like, what should we do with our tokens on day one? Like, what's with the current unlock rate, is there going to be much liquidity, and like what do we want people to be doing?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, the ones that are unlocked are yours to do whatever you want with, obviously. And I think I would expect that the very first things before porting to Avalanche is turned on is largely going to be around like setting up your hub, small creative projects, so on. So I think getting your identity registered is a big deal, and we want you guys to be able to do that before this gets really broad. So it's little stuff like that. I think the my own experience from launching this creative project on BetaNet was that, and I think this is by the way, a lesson from a lot of chains, is that there's actually this kind of interesting moment early where like if you can launch really, really early on a chain and get paid in tokens, a lot of those companies do incredibly well. An example, I think it was BitPay and Bitcoin. BitPay was a Bitcoin payment processor. Terrible idea. Like who wants to spend their Bitcoin on buying like socks? I think alpaca, you could buy alpaca socks and coffee originally. I mean, and payment processors are an incredibly low margin business, but it was the very first one in crypto. They like eventually transitioned to now they're just like essentially like a hedge fund that holds Bitcoin, and that's because they were there so early. They got all these fees, and so I think there are some good lessons from the early stages of crypto. Those of you who have been planning to launch something, I would recommend you get that out as quickly as you can, and like we are going to be actively looking to promote anything that's happening on the hub. We're
Yeah.
incredibly happy to be doing that ahead of turning on teleporting, ahead of exchange stuff, and the team's working hard to get all this stuff rolling through biz dev deals and so on, but community engagement is also really important. So I think there's the initial stuff is not going to be financially related as far as I can imagine. I don't think there'll be a lot of tokens there, but if you're thinking about strategy and you're like, how do I do as well as I can right now and lock in all the Lamina1 community as my customers right away? A couple things there won't be any access to unless one of you publish it. There won't be a DEX until we've hooked up to AVAX, or unless one of you guys makes one. There won't be stable coins until we announce whatever our stable coin plans are. There's a pretty interesting moment where you guys could get in and like do some things. So I think you may want to be, if you haven't already been thinking about it, you may want to kind of put pencils to paper and be like, would it make sense to be like the very first thing on Lamina, whatever the thing is you guys care about? And I think, but that said, like this is not a financial event, the TGE. It's really just a like getting everything up, turned on, ready, looking good, feeling good, repointing community at the hub, bulking the community out, and then we'll push the button when we're ready on opening up all the tokens more broadly.
Ed asked earlier this week, for mainnet, like what are things going to cost on the hub? Like for example, are premium usernames and NFT minting still going to be pretty low at like 1L1 token?
I have nothing to do with that, so I think the answer is yes.
I know the
But
answer. I can answer my own
okay,
question if Will is still coding.
yeah,
But the answer is yes. So yeah, it's still gonna be a low price. We definitely want people like reserving usernames and minting and creating content on the network. So yay. Um, we're not gonna answer the when listing news questions that continue pummeling the chat.
I'll something about it. I'll say something about it.
Okay.
It's actually, well, it's very interesting because it's quite a competitive market,
Yeah.
and we're still evaluating best offers, conversations, contracts, blah 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 blah. The when we've got a date, it will become part of HUBMANIA questing, and we'll let you guys know. So just stay calm. You're not going to miss it. It'll be fun. Those are my big promises.
Awesome. Here's another one. So these are more sort of technical stuff. Will, these are probably going to have to be answered by you. Just saying basically these are questions around like linking accounts and how the new sort of airdrop flow kind of works. Amuela asks, can the airdrop be moved to EVM wallets?
Can the airdrop be moved to EVM wallets?
Yes, you can use MetaMask for the airdrop.
Is that what the question is asking?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, generally the chain is an EVM chain, so all the wallets in the chain are EVM wallets. If you're talking about the actual application you use itself, you can either do it through the hub. Well, you do have to claim it through the hub unless you're like really technically competent and want to write your own scripts for interacting with the chain and the airdrop contract on chain. Don't recommend that. But
the hub supports MetaMask, right?
The hub does support MetaMask, yeah. So you can either use your existing hub account if you signed up with email, or you can integrate with your MetaMask account. But you have to do it with the same account that you receive the airdrop to. So I don't remember if it was made clear earlier, but there's going to be two categories of airdrops that people receive. Some of them are going to be delivered to Discord IDs. Some of them are going to be delivered directly to EVM addresses. Those are going to be the same EVM addresses you used on the beta net. So if you're claiming one of those chain address rewards, you have to claim it obviously with that same address that it's awarded to. If you're claiming a Discord ID reward, you can link it to any EVM address you want, and then you claim it with that EVM address. So maybe a little complicated, but we'll have like really clear instructions. The Discord bot will walk you through it. The hub will walk you through it.
Totally. Yeah. I think that answers Ed Key's question, which was like, does changing the linked account move the LL1 to a new address? Like that switching address thing is it's a little complicated for sure.
Yeah, so that doesn't actually. Good, Peter.
No, I was just going to ask. In my mind, I'm imagining that might relink your Discord rewards, but it certainly won't relink your BetaNet address rewards. But I don't know if that's true. I was just curious what
Yeah. So obviously, the rewards are being delivered in LL1. We don't want there to be a loophole where you can just like move the LL1 around via the airdrop process. So once you go through you can link as many times as you want until you claim to as many different addresses as you want until you press the claim button. Once you press the claim button, it sends all of the LO1 to the last linked address. Well, technically, I guess we said we could only do it 10 times, right? So we did limit you a little bit. But yeah, so you can link up to 10 different addresses. You click claim, it'll send all the LO1 to the last linked address. So I wouldn't think of them as like being able to send the tokens to different addresses. It's like you get 10 shots to put the right address in there before you press the claim button. And you can verify that by when you do link an address, we'll send you like a tiny amount of L1 technically, L1 actually, sorry. And you can go to log into the hub with that linked address and see, did I receive the 0.1 L1? If so, then you're safe to go ahead and press claim.
Great.
Again, it sounds complex, but once you see it on screen, it'll be very clear.
E. Hyken asks, can we check the amount of airdrop tokens before mainnet? No.
Like what your reward is.
Ivy says no. Next question.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean,
there's a full like, but... yeah. There's a log. I mean, like the way the contract works, there's a full list. So I guess you could I don't know, it'll be available somewhere.
Yeah.
But probably the easiest thing to do is just hit it up
I think on May
when it
28th, you
goes
can
live.
go check if you're eligible and then do your claim. But yeah, no, we're gonna keep it small. Um, yay.
So EVM ETH is asking this. I'm going to jump in. Can you
Okay.
lock into vote token on May 28th? No. So, and we will turn on locking and rewards as we get closer to stuff like teleporting and central exchanges. So we'll communicate with you guys ahead of time on that as well. And you should pay attention to us. Like, we're not going to wait for you if you dropped out for a minute. So like, and the way this works in the smart contracts, RL1, LL1. Oh, actually, this is fun. We haven't really talked about this. So if you think about it, they're based on days. So let me ask you a question. What time zone? What is the start of Metaverse Standard
Yeah, I
Time?
don't think we've announced
And
this before.
yeah, so I asked Neil to choose Metaverse Standard Time, and he came back and gave us the international dateline. So it's GMT minus 12 is Metaverse Standard Time, which means, by the way, if you want to do stuff close to the end of the day in the metaverse, it's like 5 a.m. Pacific time. I was like, Neil, why? But that is the time. Metaverse Standard Time is now and forever on the international dateline, GMT minus 12. So what that means is, like, all of these contracts, the unlock starts on a particular day at midnight Metaverse Standard Time, and that day is going to be post dated for May 28th, and we'll announce it, and you'll know it before May 28th.
Great. OG Puck asks, kind of off topic, but like a little bit related. I'm noticing that there's a LAMINA1 GitHub repo. Can you touch on that in relation to the launch? Will, people are watching you. And I know we have a new GitHub link that we're going to be debuting on the hub. So I think maybe they're kind of indirectly asking me, like, will the airdrop like contract be released to the public? Are we going to be releasing some more code and things for people to dive into?
Yeah, I think so. As we mentioned earlier, we've been going through an audit process, and part of that process is to publish both the audit reports and the underlying contracts that were audited. I think that would include the governance contracts as well as the new airdrop contract. And then there's some additional stuff we're looking at open sourcing as well around the chain. But there'll be a little bit more information on that later.
There are a mere 73 repositories in the LAMINA GitHub. I just posted a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm excited to release the GitHub. It's been a big request that we've gotten over a long period of time. Ikakuman asked, are there any accounts omitted from the airdrop to prevent cheating, etc., and to ensure fairness? So this is a really big deal to a lot of our community members. I'm going to answer this just by saying, like, we do not keep like a formal like centralized blacklist, or we kind of do, but like we're not kind of just like doing it that way. Instead, like the way that the airdrop is built is similar to the way that it was built in BetaNet, where basically like if you act like a real human being, you get like the rewards, the way that the rewards work and are allocated to you work more in your favor than if you like rewards farmed and multi-accounted like crazy. So that's kind of like how we've protected against it. I think obviously a little bit of degen activity is, you know, we live in a world of degens. We don't like want to ban people for playing the game a little bit. But basically
We
if
just make
you
the game help build the community is the idea.
yeah, exactly. Like we're
Yeah.
really proud of the way that we've allocated the airdrop because it really does incentivize folks who like were in it every day, actually built stuff, like all of that stuff. So yeah, I think it's really exciting. And Nukaku Man, you were so helpful with translating our white papers into Japanese that yeah, it's like that kind of stuff that we really took a close look at.
For comparison, like the way the scoring worked out in BetaNet, I think were you to have like botted random, like easy to bot XP across, I don't know, call it 10 accounts, and if you'd spent all that time on one, it was something like 1,000 times better to have done it all on one, just as an example. Like, I'm making those numbers up, but they're directionally correct. It was like much better to kind of commit to a single account. And so I think we feel like we did a pretty good job on that in BetaNet, and we're carrying that forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Protect the pie from scammers. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hugely important to us. We definitely like it's definitely a fun dance to be like, okay, we really want to protect this amazing community that we've built, but we also really want to be opening up the doors to a much wider community, obviously, as we launch, which is going to benefit all of us. So, yeah. Um, Peter, any closing words about HUBMANIA before we move to
Woo!
next steps? Woo!
Can you go back to the HUBMANIA slide?
Yeah, I'll go back to
Um,
the slide.
oh, people want to know what I think about Mr. Gensler. No comment. No comment. Um, uh, I mean, what else do I want to say? I saw Killen wants to buy LAMINA1 tokens for 8 cents, so you guys should hit him up. The you know, I think like we're doing this our own way, and I'll say I hope it all goes well. Some of it's very novel, as you guys know. We are sort of like informed by the lessons of the past, and so I hope that what we all end up doing together is going to work really well. So all that to say, like, bear with us. I will put out like the Lamina team like is working their asses off. So be nice to them. Like they're seriously working nights and weekends to get this done. And like we couldn't be doing it without, you know, people like Ivy and Will and the whole team doing this. So be kind to them. And yeah, that's that. We're just really excited. I'm psyched to have TGE happen. I'm psyched to get, you know, identities registered. I'm psyched to start seeing stuff show up in the hub. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, next steps reminder, save your calendar date for 5/28. That's gonna be the time to onboard and claim your airdrop. HUBMANIA quests are launching on Monday. So do every HUBMANIA quest you can between now and question. You know, obviously we've got a lot of exciting stuff with token listings and ambassador programs and other stuff. HUBMANIA will be limited time only before we kind of transition to a more stable mainnet quest system. But again, think of this as just like a big ramp up period. It's going to be fun. Invite your favorite creators, friends, degens, your mom, pretty much anyone to join the community that you can. We really want to be growing the LAMINA1 community as much as we can. We'd love to get awesome creators, artists. I think if, you know, you had any folks that you know who were kind of like waiting to see what happened with LAMINA1 or waiting until we went mainnet to try to launch something or put a collection up, like, you know, now's a really good time to get involved. So, you know, don't let your friends miss out. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
cool
you.
art, cool art, welcome, cool experiences, welcome, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, a couple other quick things I saw. How do we get involved in node operations? You can reach out to the foundation. I think maybe there's an email we can put in this chat. So node operating is happening. It's going to be growing, and it's one of the like infinite number of things on the launch list. But we absolutely want node operators, and we are particularly interested in node operators who want to run a variety of kinds of nodes. So at the beginning, these are pretty standard EVM type staking nodes. That are hooked up to AVAX. As we go, I think I expect there'll be like file nodes, render nodes, other kinds of stuff. And so we really do want to work with you if you guys want to do that.
yeah.
And over the next year, that's all going to get bulked out more.
Yeah.
So
Last
yeah,
week we posted a validation plan, an update about the kind of like phases that we're going to be doing, kind of starting out small and then expanding into a full permissionless network from there. So for anyone who missed that last week, definitely check out that blog post.
thanks you guys. This is awesome. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
Metaverse Standard Time. You heard it here first. And HUBMANIA, woo!
Mania, woo!
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, so guys, stay
I'm getting
tuned. I'm
kicked out of the
doing a big
office.
recap post on all of this around the HUBMANIA launch on Monday. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.